ball, get arm length away from him. So can you reach out and touch him? So you're not arm length away. Okay, get in a stance, head below him, and you can play square. Now, where would you guys be defensively? Just play your stuff. Now, 3-pass one-on-one, all you're going to do is underhand pass back right away, and then underhand pass. So on the third pass, it's live. It's live 3-on-3. Just focus on this court, then I'll show you how we'll develop it from there. Okay, start again. Okay, hold. So everywhere I go in the world, it's the same thing. It's absolutely the same thing. Whether it's Australia, it's Europe, it's America, it's Canada, it's the same thing. Players often play the game to pass the ball and to dribble the ball. How do you score? Shoot. So we want to emphasize first that our basketball philosophy, and we're always going to try and connect our principles of play to everything we do, comes back to there is one decision, and that's when you're open, you shoot the ball. We're trying to create a mindset. And if we're talking about player development and team development, there's two things. Number one, my goal is to help my players improve every day in practice. Makes sense? And my goal is to help our team win. So I want to connect everything that I do in practice to those two goals. If I'm doing something in practice, block shooting, two-ball dribbling, mic and drill, that aren't helping my players individually improve and to help our team win by connecting skills and decisions together, then I feel that I'm devaluing my value as a coach. And I'm here to tell you, you're more valuable than a lot of you think. You're way more value. But your value is not, ready? Dribble, pound, dribble, pound. Your value as a coach is not that. He can do that on his own. That's player-led development. I'm all for, I'm not here to tell you anything's wrong. I'm here to ask the question, is there a better way? And I feel there's a better way because we have limited time to help them connect skills and decisions, and that's our value as a coach. For him, he can do that on his own. Who's responsible for your learning? Who's responsible for your motivation? I'm not a motivator. As a parent, coach, teacher, I'm not a motivator. I create an environment for them to be motivated. That's my goal, to create an environment for them to be motivated. But I'm not a motivator. That's not it. Telling them to play harder gives them no information at all. And we'll talk more about that as we go through this. But it means, hey, play harder, play harder. Great, I solved all problems. What I need to do is I need to create an environment where they're going to play hard. And how we do that. I'm not going to, again, tell you that you're wrong, but I'm going to have you constantly ask the question, is there a better way? So, teaching, connecting, transfer. Those are my goals in practice. Teaching, connecting, and transfer. We're really good at coaches, I feel, at the first thing, which is teaching what to teach. Look, I could give you ideas what inbound to teach, what press break to run, but I think coaches generally were good at that. I can tell you, I know that because on at B-Ball Immersion, Twitter on at B-Ball Immersion, if I post a play, I can get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of likes on a play. Coaches love plays. So you can find a play. But if I post a sample of me teaching or me explaining something I'm teaching, I won't get hundreds of likes. I know the play will get more likes than that. So I know that we're all good with the what to teach part. You can figure that out. So my focus is more on the connecting and the transfer. How can we connect the information for the player so that they can transfer it to the game? And come back to this question constantly, that's what we worked on. That's my goal every game, is that players leave that game going, that's what we worked on. We worked on this in practice, and it's helping me individually be better in the game as a player, and it's helping our team succeed. And if I'm doing something that isn't helping my players do that, then I feel that I have too much fluff in my practice, and I need to remove that. And a lot of these blocked on-air drills I showed you to start with, they're fluff. They don't help the player individually get better with a coach. And a coach can connect skills and decisions. Okay, so rotation here, just so we go. Okay, you guys will do the same thing, 3-pass one-on-one down there, 3-pass one-on-one down here. Okay, we're gonna rotate out. So if you get a stop, you go to center. At center, you go to the first available basket that becomes available, and you come in on offense. Defense starts with the ball, and it's 3 passes to live. When I shut up, they can start. As much as possible, I try and remove the necessity for me to organize things. Okay, now hold. Hold. Good effort with rotation down here. What happened down here? Did you score or not score? So you should be on defense. Team that got scored on goes to what? Half court. Go to half court. And what should you guys be doing? Jogging down there and going in on offense. I try to remove the necessity of me saying go. I would only intervene if they need me. Okay, hold. Cool. So this is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me to watch. It is, and I want you to know that. Everything I do is by design. Everything is based on evidence-based ideas around teaching and coaching that can help players learn not just how to play basketball, but also how to lead and follow. How do we develop better leaders? How do we develop better followers? How do we develop better communicators? How do we get them to talk? Well, we put them in situations to do it. All right, I learned to play piano by playing the piano. I learned to lead by being in leadership situations. So as a coach, I have the answers. I could give them the answers they need here. I could get on them, I could tell them to hustle, I could tell them to go, or I could give them these moments of grace where it does slow down the learning process, but overall it helps them engage more with the material as they fight for their learning, because struggle is necessary for learning. Mistakes are necessary for learning, struggle is necessary for learning. So I want them to have this opportunity to fight for their learning. So if they need me, I can either co-create a solution with them. What can help us rotate on and off faster? Sprinting, awesome. It'd be great if I don't have to come to Manitoba to teach you things you know already, right? Right. So we know, no coach ever has told you to jog or walk. They tell you to move fast, right? So move fast. There's a good one. So I can co-create solutions with them by asking questions, or if they're super struggling, then I can intervene and give them the answer. But before I give them the answer and before I co-create the solution with a question, I would love to give them a period of grace where they try and figure it out themselves. And they roughly kind of figured it out themselves. Here's another basic concept here is teach the drill before the skill. I haven't taught about any technical, tactical part of this drill. The initial part is, can they do the drill right? If I teach the drill and the skills and tactics at the same time, I am talking too long. Short bursts of information, that's what players need. That's what our practices require for me to be able to keep them actively involved in the learning process. So active learning time, time on task, I'm maximizing those things by removing myself as much as possible as the coach and only being there with short bursts of information. So once they have the drill concept correct, now I can go in and teach the skills or decisions that go with that. Give the defense the ball. Okay, arm length away. Are you arm length away? So you get what you accept as a coach. If it's important enough for you to teach, it's important enough to hold them accountable to it. I don't have to run him to hold him accountable to it. I just need to make him aware that he can do better. So arm length away, head down. Where would you be? What's your responsibility relative to the ball? If the ball goes where are you helping the ball? Ball goes where? What direction would you be help? What's this called? You can call it whatever you want, but what would you call it? Okay, which help side where? Give a location on the floor. Can you help him? Where would you be relative to the ball? What's your help position relative to the ball? What are you responsible for? If the ball goes where, what are you responsible for? Okay, so what is this area? Help is what you're doing, but what's your responsibility? Help right, thank you. Great effort answering. Great effort answering. This is a safe environment. You can answer questions wrong, you cannot know the answers, and you can also make mistakes physically. It's a safe environment. Okay, I'm really proud of you for thinking it through. So that's another part of this process for me, and I'm showing you that intentionally so you see how awkward and uncomfortable it is. For players, for me, it's all part of the process. Hey guys, all of us as humans, me, you, all of us, we're bad before we're okay. We're okay before we're better. We're good before we're great. Like this process of learning is normal, and we want to normalize it for players. And unfortunately, a lot of what we share sometimes just shows the end result, and it being, oh, this player can already do this. But what we know is learning is nonlinear. It's nonlinear. Like the way he's going to learn 3 times between his legs, he's going to learn it at a different time, he's going to learn it at a different time. They're all going to learn it at different times. It doesn't mean they can't learn it, they just haven't learned it yet, which is the most powerful word in all of coaching is yet. Like I'll never have a player say, hey, you know, you're not real good at this, and then I'll make sure that we always finish that sentence with yet. But we want to normalize the fact that it's okay to not be good at something because creating that learning environment helps them reach beyond their level. Reach beyond their level. So we would say, you said help, right? It's actually left, I think. He's going to his left. It's relative to him. And then this would be help, technically, then based on that help, left, right? Now, we'll say it even easier. Your middle and your base. Your middle and your base. And you play from there. Offense, on the catch. No pause on the catch. So your superpower on the catch is to attack immediately. So no jabs, no shot fakes. As soon as you catch it, drive to score. You're trying to score. Okay, your goal off the dribble is to score or to draw 2 people. If you draw 2 people, what are you going to do? Pass, right. But if you draw 1 person, what are you going to do? Score. 1 player doesn't stop you. That's a mentality of what we're trying to build in terms of drive to score. We're trying to drive to score, and your goal is to score. Now, more importantly, off drive to score, there's a beautiful half circle on this court, and hopefully there are most courts, but we call that the smile. The happiest place on earth is the smile. So our goal, if we're driving the ball, is not to get to the paint. The paint is a whole big area. Like if you get to the paint here, what's the value of that relative to getting the paint here? So our value is getting to the smile. We want to be happy, so we want to get to the smile. So his goal on offense is to get to the smile and score, or get to the smile and draw 2. If he draws 2, he kicks and plays. Now on their own, they should be switching spots. They should be playing in different spots, and we play off of that. But anyways, let's go because I'm going to build off of this. All right? Hold. How many passes to live? Okay, you guys are out. New team come in. So what's the consequence of not doing something right is you don't get to play offense. You lose offensive possession. You can go. Let's go. Okay, hold. You guys are out. Who starts with the ball? Defense, 3 passes. Every detail matters. Rotate, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get a jog. Let's go. Figure it out. Talk. Quicker. Let's go. Quicker. Defense starts with the ball. Let's go. Okay, hold. What's your help responsibility? Can you see your check? So if the ball goes where are you helping? What do we say? What do we call it, guys? Base. So if the ball goes base, you got help there. If the ball goes where? Your help where? So butt to the rim. Okay, butt to the rim, see both, lopsided triangle, play from there. Are you arm length away? Can you reach out and touch him? So no, so you're not defending. So head below his, you still can't touch him. Okay, defense, this is a way to phrase defense. Defense is perception and deception. Perception and deception. Why do you want to play with a stick hand out? Because the perception is that you're closer than you are. The reality is he's still pretty far away, and he has a gap so he doesn't get beat off the dribble. If his hand is down, put your hands down, the perception is that the offensive player has space. So perception and deception is really important. And we're going to talk about this concept of knowing your help. All defense is relative to the ball, because what scores? What scores, guys? What scores? The ball. So simple. The ball scores. So everything that we do defensively is relative to the ball because the ball scores. So we want to know our responsibilities. Who's your check? And what's your responsibility? You can say one word. We try to break down all communication into one word because we want short bursts of information. We want to be able to communicate quickly. So base, middle, and play off that, and then we go from there. All right, so defense starts with the ball. Let's go. Hold, hold. Can I coach you? We have an agreement that I can coach you. That's cool? Okay. Chris Oliver, good to meet you. What's your name? Mike. Cool. Good to meet you, Mike. Blake. Okay, Blake. I want to create agreements in practice because I want to be able to coach them. And I want to be able to coach them in a non-threatening way. I want to be able to coach them by holding them accountable to what I teach. To me, hard coaching is not running them, it's not yelling at them. Hard coaching is holding them accountable to what you teach. Blake, what did I just coach down here relative to the player covering the ball? Use my words. You use my words and we'll communicate faster. How did we define being close? Somebody help them. Arm length away. So, okay? And then how do we define that you're putting effort into your stance? Great effort, great effort. But relative to your stance, what was it? Head below the player you're covering. So I gave them 2 details about playing defense. Defense isn't that complicated, but now I can't just say play harder. I got to define for them what it means to play harder on defense. And relative to the ball, playing harder for me is, can you cover arm length away and your head below the player you're covering? So now I'm giving them key features of what I mean by play harder. There's no point in me saying play harder if I don't tell them what it means to play harder. And that's what we're trying to define for them. Now, hard coaching to me is every time Blake doesn't play arm length away or get his head below the player he's covering, I hold him accountable to that. I either stop it and coach it, or more often than not, if it's one player or 1 or 2 players making the mistake, I'll coach them individually. If it's multiples, 3, 4, 5 players making the mistake, I'll coach the group. But I don't want to just stop the whole practice for Blake. I want to stop the practice for the group. So in these situations, I would coach Blake more individually, and as he comes back to the middle, it gives me opportunities to be able to hold them accountable. Or I would just say, hold, recreate, hold the ball, no extra shots, no extra dribbles. Recreate means go back to the place where there was a mistake, and then we coach it from there, and then we let them play. We follow feedback with action. We follow feedback with action. Again, I've been to practices all around the world, really great coaches, really famous coaches, all of the above, really great youth coaches, really bad coaches at all levels, good, bad, ugly, all that. But I'll tell you, one of the biggest problems I think coaches have is that you give really great information, but then you don't let the player follow that information with actually gameplay, where they get to apply the information. It's often summary information, summary feedback. Oh, at the end of 3 trips, I tell them the details of the first trip and what they could have done better, but meanwhile, they don't get to follow that with action. So follow feedback with action. If I'm going to coach Blake right now, I'm going to say hold, recreate. Hey, Blake, where should you be defensively? There you go. And now we say, okay, let's play from there. Defense start with the ball. Let's go. Okay, hold, recreate, go back to the top. Ball's in the corner right there. You guys, you're good, but just hold it just for the sake of this. Again, I would hold this group. I wouldn't hold that group, but for the clinic, we got to. But here, get the dominoes going, right? No. pass one along the baseline, you caught the ball, you passed it to the top, right? Now, no, you're good, you're good. Excellent. We had a drive baseline, we had a pass to the corner, we had the defense in recovery. We call that dominoes. Dominoes. The dominoes are falling, meaning we're creating advantages and the defense is in recovery. So we've got them moving. We want to keep the dominoes falling and not stop them from falling. How did you stop the dominoes from falling? You paused. Now, what was a possible solution? Answer now. You could drive, you could attack the closeout immediately, right? Or you could initiate an action, could be a handoff, could be a pass to some action, but we want to keep the dominoes falling. Play after the play or conceptual offense. Alex Sarama, the BDT offense, if you want to learn more about conceptual offense, the play after the play stuff is the most important stuff because we're teaching them how to play basketball. And I'll talk about structure and giving them the structure, and we want to give them the structure because a certain amount of freedom comes from structure. But once they have the structure, we want to move them from structure to unstructured. Because this variability or this unpredictability is what's going to help them be better basketball players and ultimately help them individually succeed and help your team succeed. So we want to create that variability. Okay, all of you just go sit over there. You guys, everybody go sit down, except you two stay. Let's go, you two stay. Okay, go to the top.